since the earliest times that the yari or spear was used for self-defense and hunting, and therefore highlighted in the battles. Some scholars claim to be one of the oldest weapons in the history of man. A more approximate study says that the spear were used in Japan since the first colonized groups in the land, but finding information related to the use of the spear in ancient times is extremely difficult. One of the earliest references of the spear links those weapons to soldiers from 673. These soldiers were called genin, warriors' assistants. These soldiers accompanied mounted warriors and acted as helpers, carrying equipment and collecting heads, considered trophies of battle. They also carried a spear that was used to defend his master during rest moments. It is said that once one of the genin was challenged to a duel, and surprising many made a big hole in the armor of his opponent. Since then, the Japanese decided to study further this new weapon and develop warriors with expertness in spears. Unlike other weapons, it required greater skill and handling, and soon became a symbol of bravery and honor. Historically, the use of yari occurred during the invasion of the Mongols between 1274 and 1281, where the Japanese warriors developed further the use of the yari. The Mongol cavalry arm attacked using special tactics, but it was thanks to the yari that Japan won this difficult war. The positioning and construction of postures along the fight characterized every thought. It is common to see in a battle between two lancers low postures, gedan, so that the length of the weapon protects the whole body, providing also mobility of different forms of attack. In the comparison against a katana, yari's postures are generally average. Chudan, emphasizing the distance and the possibility of a fast and fierce attack. Time showed that all these details are beyond of finding the alignment of the hands, hara, and body. Nothing is as ordinary as trying and not achieving. The importance of other details when the full attention is on the breathing process in relation to the yari show us that peculiarities which correspond to each case, regardless of their movements, have close relation with the energy on developing a level of efficiency and speed. For those development process, the dedication to a specific exercise of harage facilitates the understanding. The entire length of the weapon induces the practitioner to redirect the diaphragm that is felt in breathing. Its specific work will strengthen the supply of the ki to the hara. The intention is that the yari becomes denser in relation to arms and as consequence to the hara. Its elongated shape allows the energy to become intense and block the rebound of an impact. Losing this energy received from the impact along the station due to the capacity of the energy distribution through the absorption. That explains why the weapon is held in a different way when compared with other long weapons. However, this same simple holding process to sustain the yari is simultaneously an easy path for errors and biases, as our body always seeks a way to adapt itself to the practice. When the spear is positioned at lower angles, the energy that overlaps the placement of the weapon as an extension of the body is restricted to the backhand, so the front of the spear becomes light and agile. While this distance is average, weight between the hands emphasizes the energy direct to the front hand, trimmed by the backhand, which drives straight the energy to the tip. During the attacks, we realize that with every breath, when executed properly, the hara expands faster and contracts its energy, aiming to isolate the two types of ki, the high one and the low one in the hara. When we retreat, we conduct this procedure a little faster, in a way that it can expand or collapse completely. The arms reflect this motion in harmony with the feet that, in this case, function as the ear of arm's energy. The activation process of this energy, in order to be used in a fast and efficient way, in principle, can be very complicated and difficult when considering the release of yari, the fusion between the practitioner and the timing with the uke. The purpose of this knowledge is to seek the truth within each moment during the confrontation, the distance, mai, timing, and the parallel between tori and uke. By the correct breathing, it provides the means for a symbiosis between different forms, between the yari and consciousness of the practitioner. In this case, the main concern of harage is to direct this biomotor force towards expansion of the weapon in relation to the human body. Several schools and masters develop systematic techniques of breathing regulating its speed, depth, and rhythm. Under normal circumstances, our breathing is very irregular, being both inhalation and exhalation very superficial and without harmony. Some teachers explain about the tier of the energy or ki when manipulating the yari in a real situation and not in a suburi or kata. In a real confrontation, several factors such as feelings, fears, anxieties, danger require a greater consumption of energy. We can realize that with mental and emotional restlessness, the first point that changes is the breathing, which becomes accelerated and consumes the ki even before it reaches the hara. However, one can see that it becomes more equilibrated, slowly, in states in which we are physically, mentally, and emotionally calm. If we are involved by a conflict between two opposing tendencies or desires, it is irregular or arrhythmic. If, however, we find ourselves integrated, free of physical contradictions, the breath is rhythmically. This last one is the point that teachers try to develop through specific exercise.